that, basically, I want to get it by itself, don't I? I don't want to have anything with it. It'll tell me then that x equals 1. So what do I got to do? I've got to get rid of 1,567 positives. How do I do this? Subtract it. In essence, when you have that 1,567 and you want to get the x by itself, you want to do the opposite of this. So you want to subtract 1,567. Because what is positive 1,567 and minus 1,567? 0. What's x plus 0? X, right? Now, to keep this in balance, what do I got to do? I got to subtract 1,567 from that other side. Now, basically, this cancels. We just went through that. And all I got to do is take 1,364 minus 1,567, and that would give me negative 200. Okay, so steps in solving equations. No matter what's the first step? Simplify. We didn't have anything to simplify, did we? And what we want to do then is we want to take a very simple equation like x plus 2 equals 3 and find a process so that no matter what I have, I can find an answer. So what is the process? If I'm adding, I would subtract whatever it is from both sides. So what's the first thing I do? This is what I do. We just talked about a lot of this. What do we want to get by itself? We want to get x by itself. That's the variable, isn't it? We want to figure out what goes into the variable and make a true statement. So I find the variable term. And x plus 2 equals 3, that would be x. And then I do the opposite. So in other words, I undo what is being done. I'm going to put a little asterisk with that. What is being done to it? What is being done to the variable?
That problem you have on the board, we put the take away 2 under the 3 and the 2.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Wouldn't it be...
What goes in for x?
1.
How do you get it? Other than just adding it. We just had a big one.
3, but you're not going to take 2 through 2.
No. Well, yeah, I am.
Because you want it to be 0.
Remember what this is? This is a balance scale. Here's my x, and I have 2 positives there, and I have 3 negatives there, and I want this to remain on that side by itself.
Why does it need to be balanced when that's not?
Because that's what an equal sign means.
But if all we're doing is trying to figure out what x is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm trying to teach you the process, because that one's easy. You can tell me in your head what x is.
Yeah.
This one's not as easy, is it?
No.
This one is not as easy either, is it?
No.
Neither was that big one, huh? That I just had up there. And I don't remember what it was. something like that. That's not as easy to do in our head, is it? So for every problem that looks like that, for every equation, we have to develop a process. And what is the process? The process is if I have x and plus 2 and plus 3, and I want this to remain by itself on this side of the balance, what do I have to do? I have to get rid of the two positives. How do I do that? By taking them off, canceling them out. Taking them off, canceling them out, that's like subtracting. Now, if I do that on this side, I have to do what? Take 2 off on this side or cancel it out. That's where the two negatives come in. Now, in essence, what does that leave me? That leaves me my x. What does that leave me over here? The 1. Algebraically, these cancel, leaves me my x here, leaves me my x equal sign, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So the process is to undo the plus 2. To undo the plus 2, you have to subtract 2 from both sides. So, noting that, if I have x plus a fourth equals a third, what is the process? This looks like this, except it has different numbers. So what is the process? Instead of adding a fourth, I find my variable. There's my variable. What am I doing to it? I'm adding a fourth, so what would I do? Undo that. How do you undo addition of a fourth? You subtract a fourth. Now whatever I do to that side, I do to that side. Now, what is plus a fourth and minus a fourth? Cancels out. That leaves me my x on this side. And then I can do 1/3 minus 1/4 on the other side. What is that? That's 4/12, that's 3/12. 4/12 minus 3/12 is 1/12. And so now I have a process for finding the answer. Okay, here's my next problem. Find the variable. There it is. What's being done to it? Addition of 567. How do I undo that? I subtract 567. Whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side. Now that leaves me what on this side of the equation? This cancels out, doesn't it? Leaves me x. And what is negative 12 minus 567? Negative 579. So negative 579 plus 567 equals negative 12. So it's all the process of how to do it. Basically, you've got to think of it this way. They already knew what the answer was going to be, didn't they? So they started with something like x equals 10. They already knew the answer. And then what they did was they did some stuff to both sides. What did they do to both sides? They added 2 to both sides.